are curling on it. This is the book number 3 of the Pheromemes book series. If you could be attracted to somebody's pheromones, maybe you could be attracted to my words or memes, which I love. It's a great made-up word. I like this made-up word. And this first poem is not about a girl, unless I'm a girl driving. This one's called Violations Tested. Was driving to meet someone who had so little time off for lunch. Was running late, still a few miles on a stretch of I-20 to their office. So, although the sign said 30, I went 55, following a cop speeding down the street. So, after about a mile, that copper turned his lights on and signaled me over. And he walked over to my Saturn, asked me if I knew how fast I was going. And I replied, saying, I don't know. I was just following you, sir. And I waited. If he wrote me a ticket, then there'd be a record that he was speeding while not in pursuit. If he wrote me a ticket, his faults would be found, and cops want to think that they're invincible. So the cop finally said to me, after looking at me for more than a moment, watch what you're doing, and watch your speed in the future. That's all he said. And I nodded very subserviently, yes, sir, and I, a little bit slower, went on my way. I have a theme for violations, and so I went to a different kind of violations as Valentine's Day is approaching. This is called Violations in the Name of Love. A long time ago, a long-time friend was engaged to the man of her dreams, but she violated their trust when she started sleeping with a coworker. And she told me, I love this guy, but everyone here loves my once fiancé. I told her I hope it works out. And apparently it did. Her longtime love forgave her. The wedding was on again. And she even asked me to be a bridesmaid, but that's when everything started going so wrong. I'd respond to her every email, and even though I tried to appease, she would be enraged at me because I believed in truth. So, according to her, apparently honesty is not what friends are for. Then when I saw there was no way that this friend could ever be moral or honest to her friends, to the man that she'd marry, or even to herself, that's when I ended the friendship. We were no longer friends, but because of our past, she invited me to her wedding. I didn't go to the church for her lack of morality. A church seemed kind of ironic, but I went to the reception on February 10th. Did like everyone else and complimented the bride. But they played country music, which wasn't really my style. So even though there was snow outside the reception hall doors, I went outside to dance with my love in the snow when the music might be more muted. A minute or two after the dancing, an old man walked outside and asked to cut in. My love smiled, and I was touched that a stranger saw us from the hall and joined us in the snow for a dance. In the name of love, these two once lovebirds chose a wedding day that was close to Valentine's Day. But 3 different men bearing that name were all murdered centuries before that date ever meant love. I suppose it makes me smile knowing that my parents were married February 18th for Valentine's Day. But I should remember that the Valentine's Day before my dad was born was the Valentine's Day Massacre, where Al Capone in my hometown killed 7 guys from their own side, because sometimes Valentine's Day isn't pretty. And even though my once friend married near that date, that was only another sign to me that her marriage would never last. Years later, I hear from another woman that remained her bridesmaid that, she's actually divorced now. And she should have known that violations in the name of love would never lead to happiness. Violations of that nature, no matter your implied intentions, will never set you free where true love is meant to be. Okay, end on something really, really goofy. I think this was like, can you write a poem about something ludicrous? And somebody said, being out of wedding dresses. And so I wrote this piece. It's called Out of Wedding Dresses. When they said that there was a shortage of wedding dresses, the women wondered if they'd have to climb a stone wall exterior to get through the windows into a fabric store just to find the right fabric to make just the right dresses for just the right day. Of course, these women don't know how to sew, but don't confuse them with little details like that, because desperate times call for desperate measures. When women have been spoon-fed this preposterous notion of a fairy tale day, where they're told that this is the day that they are a princess, it's all about the bride. So a shortage of wedding dresses would really throw a monkey wrench into their grand scheme. Come on, ladies. Look for any wedding dress. Your big day is coming, and no one is going to stop you from getting everything you ever think that you could possibly deserve.